Hey there, it's Jennifer from the blog The Everyday Farmhouse. Today we are going to be making conditioner bars. And I've had a couple of people ask me ever since I made the shampoo bars if I could do a conditioner bar, and this has been a bit of a challenge. Anything I made felt like a lotion bar that I was using on my hair. It left my hair feeling kind of heavy and greasy. It just didn't rinse out. It didn't give it that slick feeling that you like conditioner to give your hair like it's sticking with you even after you rinse it out in a good way, not in a heavy, sticky way. So I did some research after quite a bit of trial and error with this, and I found I needed to add some ingredients that maybe some people would argue are not completely natural ingredients. It's certainly not ingredients that you're just gonna go to your soap making or your natural beauty supplies and find if you're not familiar with these ingredients. I like to keep things like shea butter and tallow, and mango oil. I like to keep all those types of things on hand so that I can just make things when I feel like it, lip balm or whatever. These two ingredients are BTMS and cetyl alcohol. And I also added a preservative to this. And I'll explain to you exactly why. BTMS is still plant-based. It's derived from plants naturally. It is a sulfate, but it's not like the type of harsh sulfate that you think of when you're trying to avoid sulfates in your shampoo or in your toothpaste or whatever. So I don't think that you're gonna have a lot of problem with using this if you're a purist with natural products. BTMS is 50% cetyl alcohol, but I also added more cetyl alcohol to it because it's a thickener and stabilizer as well. You want these bars to get nice and thick and hard so that they stay solid in your shower and they're not just melting. That was the other problem with the ones that I made, that it felt more like a lotion bar, is they just got kind of gooey in the shower. I also added a little bit of a preservative just because of the fact that it is coming in contact with water so much. I don't want to have you make something that's just going to spoil, go rancid or get moldy or anything like that. So BTMS is an emulsifier. It's really good for conditioning and detangling, and it gives your hair kind of that slick feeling that you want from conditioner. When it rinses out, it feels like you're using a store-bought conditioner, which is what I like. If I'm going to make something, I do want it to be comparable to what I would buy at the store. I don't want it to be a second-rate product because then it's just not worth my time and effort. And the cetyl alcohol, like I said, is a thickener and stabilizer. So this recipe calls for BTMS, a little bit of preservative, cetyl alcohol, and then I used tallow. I chose tallow because we have a lot of it. We either render it ourselves when we butcher, or our butcher has just started rendering it for us, which is super nice. But if you want to render some yourself, I have a tutorial on how to do that. Argan oil is in this, and glycerin. And then you can add some fragrance, and I'll share with you which fragrance oils. I used essential oils, which ones I added to this. I think I used Bergamot and Eucalyptus, and I'll have all the details, and I'll also have a detailed list of ingredients and links where you can get those in the description. If nothing else, get these molds. Oh my goodness, they are so pretty. They make the loveliest little bars. I don't know how well you'll be able to see this on the camera, but the flowers are just beautiful. So it would make a great gift for somebody who likes to receive handmade gifts. And it's very pretty. There's 4 different flower patterns in this mold. It was inexpensive. This recipe will fill 4 of these, not completely. You don't want them to be, there's a hair on it. You don't want it to be super thick. But about like this, I find, is just about perfect. So that's filling it, about halfway full. They look really, really big. But anyway, I'm going to take you step by step through how to make these conditioner bars. I think you're really going to like them. Okay, to start, you of course want to have a clean work surface, and you're going to use a digital scale and measure out each of the ingredients. You'll notice that these amounts seem really small. When I took this video, is when I was doing one of my samplings, and I only made 1 bar to start. You'll notice later in the video it looks like the amounts are more, and that's because it was from a second time that I was making it when I was using the full amounts. I also tried a couple different methods. The first thing I did that I think works the best is I melted, or almost completely melted, the BTMS and the cetyl alcohol and the tallow. And then I added the liquid ingredients. You'll see as I add those liquid ingredients, they cool it enough that those other things start to kind of solidify again. So they are a little bit troublesome to melt. And maybe it's the way I do it at that low temperature, but I don't want to overheat it. Technically, the preservative, the Optifin Plus, should be added as it's cooled. The problem with that is you'll never be able to pour it if it cools too much. So I don't think this ever gets above like 150 or so. So I think it works out just fine. And I didn't worry about my essential oils burning out or anything. The fragrance is still nice and strong in that. So I could probably use an improved pouring method here, but that's all I did essentially was melt these items together and then pour it into the molds. Now you'll want to let them cool in the mold, 2 to 3 hours, depending on your house temperature. Let them cool. If you really wanted them to cool quickly, you could pop them in the freezer for about 20 minutes. I let mine sit for 24 hours and then just unmolded them. Technically, they should sit out in the air for about 24 hours before you use them, just so that they stay nice and solid. So if you wanted, you could unmold them after a few hours when they're solid, let them sit out for 24 hours, and then you could try them out the next day. But I highly recommend this mold. It's easy to get them out of. I probably could have tamped it a little bit more. There's a few air bubbles in the design. You can see that doesn't bother me. I'm not really a perfectionist with that kind of stuff, but I think they turned out really beautifully, and it's just a really great product. So I hope you give these a try, and I hope you really enjoy it.